let me execute Spark with Java API. The program name is Wordcount. How to execute a word count scenario in Spark, especially by using Spark's Java API. Means if you want to be gone in detail, we have some of examples of Spark Java API's examples, like how to search a word, how to query the things. We have seen multiple examples as part of our Spark Java API scenario learning sessions. And here we have the major thing, like how to find out a word count. Fine. Here I wrote the program. Just check out the guys. Word count in a Java. Just check out the program. What are the things I wrote it. The class name I have taken as a word count, and I am writing PSVM public static void main, and input file I am taking from is /home. That is the directory of the input file. If you open this dataset, Hadoop dataset wc.txt, desktop Hadoop dataset wc.txt, this is my words. Okay, this is the words where we have hi's and hello. Fine, check out. Just I wrote the values. Just I am writing multiple values. I just saved the file wc.txt in the directory called desktop Hadoop dataset. So the wc.txt file is ready. Fine. Now you can check. On top of this, the output directory I want to get in the directory called output. In the desktop, the project must be created output. The file name must be, the directory name must be output. In that output, I want to save my files. If you look about my desktop, there is no output directory. Check out, there is no output directory. Now after execution, I want to create output directory with my outputs. Fine. Now I am creating a Spark context, like by instantiating the Spark conf, and the job name, application name I want to take it out as a word count, and I am creating Java's Spark context. Fine. We people know how to create a Spark configurations and how to create a Java Spark context. However, we are creating configurations in the Hadoop jobs kind of things. In Spark also we are creating configuration object. The class, the API is from Spark conf class, and we have the set app name, which will be used to set the name of the job application. The application name I set as word count. And here also in my Java API also we need one Spark context object, especially where we can perform all the utilities of the Spark. So here Java Spark context we are creating with the reference of Java Spark context class, and I am passing the configuration object. So we created the Spark context successfully. Then after things, I want to be load my input data. I want to load my data to the Java RDD. However, we are loading into the RDD in Scala kind of APIs also. Here also we are storing our data in RDD, but the RDD type is Java RDD. Fine. Now onwards, the data which is having the data in wc.txt, that will be stored in the file called input. Fine. And split up into a words. I want to be divide into a number of words. So I am taking one more Java RDD, that is words. In the words, I am applying the flat map transformation, and I am doing this flat map function. I am overriding the method flat map function. We have only one method, that is call. We don't have the predefined functions kind of things in the Java. We have to be implemented our own. For this only I am implementing the abstracted method, that is call in flat map function class. Fine. We have map and function, map function and normal function, flat map function kind of classes are there in the Java API Spark. We have the common abstract method is call. We have to override that call method in flat map function, that is I want to be written, and I want to split the entire list. This entire list we have now the input data. The data I want to be splitted, and I want to be stored in the form of array. I want to store my output in the form of array, and I am dividing the based on the space as a word. I have taken space as a one word. Based on the words, I divided entire file into a number of things. So let me do some changes here. Let me write some meaningful. Instead of hi hello, I just wrote it for time being. Let me write just I wrote things. Big data is big, Hadoop is big data, big is small, hello. I just wrote the content and I am saving the file. Successfully saved. Now based on the splits, I want to divide each line into a number of words. Now we have the words. From the word we have to be count the number of words. So however we are writing the map reduce program also. Okay, we are in the mapper phase, we are adding 1 to the map. In the reducer function we are counting the reducers. In the same things we are performing in the here also, but here we are using pair function. Okay, here we have to pass two values. One is two values we have to pass, that is one is word and one other value is like kind of count. Fine. And here I am again overriding, I am extending the tuple class tuple2, and here we have the tuple2 has the x comma 1. Here x means the word and I am adding 1 to the each word. So we have ones to the each word and we have to be count based on the word. So same thing I am performing by using the transformation called action called reduce by key. Whenever I am applying the reduce by key also we don't have the things. For this only we are implementing from function 2. We have function and function 2 kind of class are there. We have to implement from them with the method called call. Here I am returning x plus y, means the integer values. We have to pass the values. So here in this case, if I even explain, big data is big. Initially what happens means, big data, which one word, okay, it will come under. Next is, next big, next big, like this, or else we have the word is Hadoop. Like this we have the all the words. The thing is, whenever this will be given by the words, by performing split we can get the output like this. Fine. Then we are performing, we are adding x comma 1. So we are adding 1 to the x, means each word. This kind of things it will be happen. Fine. Then I am performing reduce by key based on the values x plus y. What it means here, suppose big data we have only one, the count will be 1 only. Is we have two values, okay. For this what I am going to be do, after what I am going to do, the is a word and 1 plus 1 means x plus 1 means 2. So is comma 2, big comma 2, Hadoop comma 1. Like this I am generating the word count. However, your profile map program, the same logic, similar to same logic itself I am applying on the Spark's Java API. Fine. And finally the output I have stored in the RDD, Java paid RDD, that is counts. So from the counts I need to get the output, and I want to store my output in the textual file, in the form of file, that the location is output file. Check out where the output file I initialized, in the output directory. I just give the output directory name. Fine. Like this, if you want to write the word count program, I wrote the Java program, Java API with I wrote the Java program with the with Spark's Java API. And here if you particularly look about, this is all about Java program where I can write the with the Spark's Java API. Then what the things we have to be filled out as part of execution of a Spark's Java project, Java API, Java program in the Spark. First of all, we have to write a Java program. We created Java program, right? That is Wordcount dot Java. We done the Wordcount program, Java program I wrote it. Next, what we have to do? Then we have to prepare the pom.xml file with the configurations of the Spark dependencies, okay, and Maven something Java versions and our basic project information. I want doing word count, and I want to name the jar file. I want to create jar file, and the jar name is word count and version is 1.2. Like this I want to give some my configurations of a project I am keeping in the pom.xml file. Fine. Check out these three things: project configurations, Java and Maven configurations, dependencies, Spark dependencies, what version I am using, what is the artifact ID, all these things I am keeping in the pom.xml file only. And then what I am going to do in the things, word count Java is there ready, pom.xml is ready. Then we have to be prepare directory structure. Directory structure for our Java project. I am executing all the code, all the Spark requirement code in Java only. So I want to create one Java project, okay. That hierarchy you people know how to create a file, how to maintain the things. We have to be write the root application. In the root application directory we have to keep source directory. In source we have to write main and Java. In Java resources I am keeping our Java file name, this word count dot Java. and where I can keep pom.xml, particularly my data structure by based on my data structure, the location of the file, and where I can get pom.xml, where I can store means /root. In the root path itself we have to maintain pom.xml. Meanwhile, in the root path only we have source and pom.xml. Check out, I just created one directory in the desktop, our Java Spark projects, our application name is Wordcount. Fine. In the root directory, what are the folders we have to keep it out? The root name is Wordcount. I take it. We have to create source and pom.xml. Check out source and pom.xml. Pom.xml, what we have seen till now, we have, this is the pom.xml. Check out. Whenever I said that this is XML means if I try to display means it will open into the form of browser. Mozilla Firefox is my default browser in my Linux Ubuntu system, and here these are things we already seen, same kind of things here we have. And in source main Java wordcount.java, same program which we have taken, which I have explained, same program I wrote it. So the project structure is also ready. After creating Java directory structure for project, what we have to be do it means we have the Java project must be passed in the form of jar. Before creating jar, we have to be compile the Java project, means we have to be create .class files to the n number of Java classes. Anyway, we have only one Java class, so that Java class will be converted to the .class file, and we have to be create jar file. We have to be create jar file. After creating jar file, we have to be directly execute through Spark submit, Spark submit. Check out guys, first three phases already done. We wrote the program, we wrote the pom.xml, we prepared it, we created this directory structure. The thing is we have to create .class files, jar and execution. Check out, let me create .class files. If you want to create .class files means we have to move desktop, projects, the project name is Wordcount. We have to be enter into the root folder. You can check the ls, the list of the files are pom.xml and source, and from here we have to be run our project. Before before running we have to be compile. So వాయిస్ చూడు వస్తుందా? Now after checking the things, we are in the root directory only. Now let me compile the entire project by using Maven. By using Maven, I am compiling entire project. Then if you check out the compiled resources, it kept in the folder called target. If you check before, we don't have the target, we just created source and pom.xml in root tag, but target automatically created by the Maven, and here in the target directory it will created a classes. It store its own class, that is Wordcount.class. Fine. So that dot class file is also created. Then we have to be, what is the next phase? We have to create jar file. After compiling, we have to create jar file. Let me create jar file. MVN package. MVN package. Whenever I am applying the package command, it will be checked with the package constraints. There I am giving the package constraints as jar file and the name as Wordcount. The version is 1.0. Where I am doing all these things in the pom.xml. I want the name is Wordcount and I want to create jar file. The version is 1.0. In the same level of things, I need, it will create one file. See, it will create one jar file in the target. The jar name is Wordcount, okay, which I have specified here, artifact ID Wordcount, okay, and the version is 1.0 and the jar file I am created. Same thing. We only given the project configurations like what file name, what jar name, all these things in pom.xml. Based on that only I got the output. I got the jar file creation. Check out the jar is there or not. In Wordcount target we have Wordcount 1.0.jar. So the jar is also available. So directly I can execute my Java program. Java project. Fine. How to execute this Java project in the Spark? With the Spark means, let us check it out. First of all, we have to be execute through Spark submit. I given here in the execution procedure. After creation jar, we have to be execute through Spark submit. Let me check it out. If you want to know where the Spark submit is there, means in my machine. Bin, we have Spark submit, means in Spark home folder we have bin folder. In bin directory we have Spark submit as a execution program is there. We have to run that Spark submit program. Along with the Spark submit, what are things I am passing means, and I am setting class name. The class name what we have created, word count. Check out what is the class name I used, word count. In the same case I wrote it here, word count, and we have to be send jar name. Fine. We have to be send jar name by using master the jar name is where the jar is there in word count. We already there in that path only. So target word count 1.0 jar. So same thing I am writing here, target and the jar file name is word count 1.0 jar. Same thing I wrote it here. Fine. That is all. I think that is all we have to write it. The Spark submit and class name and jar file. Let me directly execute whether the output will be get it out or not. Previously we shown the output will be stored in desktop. In previous till now the desktop we don't have the output kind of folder name, but I need, if after successful execution we will get the output in output directory only. Till now it is not there. Let me check it out after execution whether it will come or not. After successful execution, it will create output in output directory in desktop in my machine. It is being execution. If you check out the output, save as text file at word count Java, all these things, everything will be, means it will stored into the particular file. That is what I am saying. And saved output to the file /home/user desktop output. Have you created output? No, the system has been taken out. Check out, is the output is there or not? Yes, we have the output. Spark has created output for us, and we have two part files are there. Two part files are created for us. The thing is repeated 3 times, big repeated 2 times, hello repeated 1 time, big data repeated 2 times. And we have one more part R file also. What it has? Small indicates 1 time, Hadoop indicates 1 time. Fine. We got output. Check out, big repeated 2 times, is repeated 3 times or not. Here only we have wc.txt, big repeated 1 and 2 times, correct. Is repeated 3 times, small 1, big data 2, Hadoop 2, same thing I got it. Hadoop 1, small 1, big data 2, same thing. Fine. Like that we can achieve word count program, word count scenario in Spark with Java API. The final conclusion what we have done is we wrote the Java word count program by implementing Spark context, by creating Spark context with the help of Spark configurations and Java Spark context objects, and we loaded the textual file information. Fine, the textual file information to our Java RDD. From the Java RDD we are splitting, and I am keeping that file name, the variable name as words, and from the words I am applying the pair function scenario where I can get the word, the number of words got repeated by using reduce by key kind of operations I applied. Finally I am getting a word and word count. Along both the things I am copying, and output I want to be saved as text file in output file. So that is in that directory only I want to save it out. So I got output in the form of like that. In the output only I have the parter files. Okay, the word count I have prepared, and pom.xml also I prepared. Check out what the pom.xml content. This is the pom.xml content. I just give the project information, configurations, the project. If I want to create a jar file, and the jar file name that with the artifact ID, with it is a group ID name, and the version word, which version we want to give to, I only give 1.x, the jar version. And these are the Java versions, Java compiled activities for Maven, the 1.7. And in my machine I have the 1.7, so I have given 1.7. And Spark dependencies, I must be import Spark dependencies from org.apache.spark. Here in my system I install version Spark is Spark Core 2.11, and the version is 1.5.2. Same information, same Spark kind of configuration information I just given in the pom.xml. And along with the word count and pom.xml, I just prepared Java project directory structure. Okay, in the directory structure only I kept my word count.java and pom.xml files. After storing word count.java and pom.xml in the particular Java project resources, I must be compile. Why means we have to be create .class files before execution. The JVM must understands only .class files, so we have to be prepare our project, make sure our algorithm is in the form of .class files. So if you want to compile, okay, I used a Maven to compile my project, mvn space compile We have seen how to compile also. Then after successful compilation, we have the .class files in our directory. Fine, in our directory we have the .class files, we already seen that. Then from the .class files we have to create one jar file. How to create a jar? By using Maven. We already seen Maven package means directly it will package with the help of jar only, and we take the name as from here and version as from here, the property what is the package type also from pom.xml only. Okay, the jar file is also ready. Then no need to wait, you can directly execute from our command prompt, the terminal, through Spark context execution, Spark context program. Fine, check out how I have done the execution. I just give the Spark submit programs address. The normally Spark submit is in Hadoop Spark's home path /bin/Spark submit. Spark submit always in bin directory of Spark's home, and I am giving the class name and jar file name. That's just I am passing two parameters, the class name and the jar file name. So after taking the jar from the logic from the jar and implementing the classes on top of our input file, the wordcount.wc.txt, it has created two part files. The output is like this. The input is wc.txt and output is two part files, part 0, part 1. It has taken two splits, so for this only we have two parts. Fine, like this we can build a word count program on top of Spark with Java API. I hope it is very clear. I think by using this you can also, by using this kind of reference, you can build any kind of program or scenario or application kind of resources through Spark's Java API. Thank you guys.